All right, so we just finished our trash can walkthrough. So the next one in our final loft assignment is the boat, which is pretty difficult because if we scroll down to the bottom of the instructions, we can see that we actually have quite a few different planes right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 offset planes with 7 sketches that we're going to do. So this actually does take a little while to do. Plus, then we have another drawing on the top. So this one takes a little bit of work, but the more you work on something, the cooler you get. So, or not the cooler you get, well, maybe the cooler you get, but also the cooler the thing that you make. All right, so we're going to start with this sketch right here, and we can sketch on the right or the front plane. You just need to make sure that we use the origin point. That should be top center right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create this. So we're sitting in our trash can right here. Phrasing. So we'll go ahead and add a new part studio. I'm going to call this boat. And let's get started. So if we look at this, we start at our origin, then we come out 2 inches on either side. So I'm going to sketch on my front plane. We'll go here, and we want to use this origin. So we'll come out 2 inches on this side. I'm just hitting L. So you can click on the line tool, or you can just hit L. That's a keyboard shortcut, kind of a ninja quick way of doing things. So 2 and 2, we'll hit escape, get out of there. So then we come back, so we have our straight line on either side, and we can see that now we come down 0.5 and 0.5 on these two sides. So I'll grab my line tool, come down 0.5, and over here, come down 0.5. Okay, and then from this middle part right here, again, we need to come left and right 0.5. So oops, sorry. First, we need to come down 1 inch. So we need to come down 1 inch, just like so. And then we're going to come over 0.5 on either side. 5, escape, 5. And there's our lines. So now we just need our arc. So there's an arc right here. This is a 3-point arc, and we can see from the constraint that it's actually tangent. So we want to make sure that this is tangent. So let's go ahead and grab our 3-point arc. Click on the end here, the end of this line. And then if I hover over it, it should just lock onto tangent. Boop, right there, and that's what we want. We'll do the same thing over here. Hover over, we kind of want to pop out, and you can see it'll pop onto tangent. And that's what we want. Now, if it doesn't, we can see that our radius is 2.5. So if you accidentally mess it up, we can come in here with our dimension tool, hit D, or you can click on dimension tool, and then just drag this out and change it to 2.5 that way. But because I let mine lock on to tangent, we can see that it's already 2.5. So we're good. One thing we need to do, this will just make life easier later, is just delete that center line right there. So there's our first boat profile. So that's going to be the front of the boat. All right, so I know in the example right here, I'm leaving the lines on the PDF, but it's actually easier if you delete them. All right, so the next one we have is a 3-inch offset. So I need to offset from this plane that I'm drawing on. So make sure that you offset from the plane that you're actually drawing on. So we'll go to plane from right here, and I need offset 3 inches. So we'll do 3. There we go. Here's our next one. Now, to make life easier, I'm actually going to hide this first sketch. Okay, just so, and I'm going to hide this front plane too, just to kind of keep that from, interfering with my view, because it'll get kind of confusing if I have too much. It's still there, right? I can unhide it. I'm just hiding it just so it's not in the way. All right, and here's our next one. So we can see that it's pretty much the same, except a little deeper. Instead of coming down 0.5, we're coming down 0.75. Instead of coming down 1, we're coming down 1.5. So it's very similar, just a little bit bigger. But we are going to start again on that origin. So let's go ahead and sketch on plane 1. Okay, we're going to front, getting our line tool, And we're going to come out 2.5 and 2.5 now. So let's go 2.5 and 2.5. And we're going to go down 1.5. Okay, and if we look over on the sides, we're coming down 0.75. So down 0.75 and coming down 0.75. Okay, and from the middle, we're coming out 0.75. So it's very similar to what we did before, just slightly larger. So out 0.75, out 0.75. We have our arc, and we're going to do the same thing. So we can see on this one, we're tangent as well. So we'll just click here, hover out till it pops to tangent, and we're good. Come out here, hover out till it pops to tangent. We can see that it says that it's moving a little bit, but it's actually not. It is locked onto tangent. So then we'll just delete this center line right there, and there's our second one. So I can show my other one if I want, but I'm going to go ahead and just keep those hidden for now because I want to go ahead and make an offset for my next one. Oh, go away. I'll miss out. I can live without it. All right. So here's our next one. So this is another 3-inch offset from plane 1. So we'll do our plane offset, 3 inches. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and hide this sketch in this plane just so I'm not confused. And we'll sketch on here. And so if we look, we're coming out even a little bit bigger. So it's very similar to before, but now we're coming out 3 inches and 3 inches. And we're coming down 1. So come down 1. Down 1. And we're going to come down from the middle 2 inches. And then we need to go out 1 and 1. So 1 and 1. Right, so that should be everything. So again, we can just get our 3-point arc and lock onto that tangent. Okay, and we're locked onto tangent. Delete our center line. And there's our third segment. So the others are still there, right? I could go through and show my other sketches, but I want to keep them hidden just because I don't want to get too confusing. So that's our third one. Our next one is going to be 3 inches again. So we're doing another offset, and I know it's kind of repetitive, but we're making the cross sections of the boat, okay, because we want to kind of make this as detailed as possible. Otherwise, it'll look really clunky, and we don't want it to look clunky. So here's our next plane, plane 3. So I'm going to go ahead and hide sketch 3 in plane 2. And we'll sketch on this one. Go back to the front, and we're going to do almost the same thing. Actually, it looks like this one is the same exact size. 3, 1, 2, 1. So yeah, pretty much the same. So it should be easy. Now, we could go through and copy it from the last one, but honestly, it is just easier just to draw it back again. Make sure that we're using this origin, because when you copy, you have to go back to the other sketch and select everything. And you have to make sure that it's pasted relative to the origin. It's honestly easier just redrawing this because we've done it a couple times, so we can go pretty quick now. So we'll just do. This has to go down 2. We go over 1 and 1. And 1. There, and then we just get our arc. So lock onto tangent. Lock onto tangent. And oops, did something wrong. So I can see right here I missed this. So I accidentally just kind of clicked on that spot. but that's okay because we know that we can come over here and grab our coincident constraint, and boom, there we go, just like that. So that's where those constraints are just super nice to know, instead of having to redraw that entire line segment. Good, all right, so there's our plane 3. Okay, we still have all of our other sketches. Okay, so we have 4 boat segments, right? The more that we have, the more it's going to make this smooth. Okay, and that's good. All right, so we got 3, we're almost done. So sketch on plane 4. So this one does look a little bit different. It is a 3-inch offset. So we've done this a couple times already, so it should be pretty easy. We just create an offset plane, 3 inches right there. I'll hide sketch in plane 4. We'll create a sketch on this one. And we'll go to our view, so it's all lined up. And this one is a little different, looks a little different, but it still starts at the origin. So we want to come over 1.5 and 1.5. And we're going to come down 0.5 on the sides. So now it's getting smaller. So we've gone through the smallest cross section of the boat, and now we're getting a little bit smaller on the other end. And then we have 1.5. So just down 1.5 there. And then we have a 3-point arc again, except this one, we're going to start here. Our second point is here. And then our third point is right here. So this one, we're not going to do a tangent, right? We're just going to kind of use that endpoint as our midpoint for our arc. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and delete that line, finish this. And there we go. There's one more out of the way. There we got all of these. And they should all line up pretty well. Yeah, see how we're using that origin over and over again? So they're all going to line up super nicely when we have to come in and do our loft. So we're going to hide all that other stuff. Right, so smaller offset. So this one is an offset of 1.5 inches. We're almost done. We're getting there. I know it's a lot of repetitive, tedious stuff, but sometimes that's just how it goes with CAD. So 1.5 inch offset. I'll hide this and this. We'll do our sketch. Okay, line up our view. Okay, and this is even smaller. It's similar to this one, but smaller because we're coming to the nose of the boat right there. Okay, so get our line tool and we're coming 0.5 and 0.5. Okay, then we want to come down 0.5. So this is actually kind of just a half circle. So we could just do a half circle, but I'm just going to do it this way. That's the way we've been doing it, and consistency is good. And then we'll just get our arc. Use this end point as that final point for our arc. Delete our middle line. And there's our section right there. And then we have one final. Okay, so one last one. So we're going to do a 0.5 inch offset. Okay, so barely any offset. It's really close to there. So click here, and then we'll do 0.5. Say OK. And I'll hide this, hide that. We'll do a sketch on this plane, line up our view, and then only a single point. So that's going to dot. So when it comes through, the reason it's only a point, if we look at the finished boat, right, the point is this little tip right there, right? The boat comes to this point. Okay, so we'll come back to here, and we have our sketch. And what we're going to do is just grab the point right there. So we'll place it. Didn't look like it did anything. But if we go back, there's our little tiny point right there. Okay, so good. So let's go ahead and show all of our sketches again. So now it's getting close to time, so we're going to need to see these. So here's all of our cross sections. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got, and the point is 7. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slices, and it's good. So it looks like we're doing okay. So we have one more. So we're going to choose the horizontal plane for this final sketch. So let's go ahead and find, okay, so here's our horizontal plane right there. So this is the one that I want to sketch on, the top plane for me. Okay, so that's the one we're going to sketch on. So I'm going to hit sketch. We'll do sketch on this plane, and I'm going to go to my top view so I can kind of see everything. And then what I'm going to do is create a spline that's going to go through each point there. Spline is right here, and this is going to act as a rail for our side. So it's going to follow this, so it creates a nice smooth curved surface. So instead of just having it go straight from one point to the next, right, this rail is going to give it a nice smooth point. So I'll hit escape to finish that up. That's going to give it a nice smooth line. We'll see how that works in a bit. So that was just a spline right there. Right. So remove the middle line. So here in the instructions, it just had you go back and do them. We did it as we went through. So cool. All right. So let's go for the loft. So click on loft. We're ready for our loft. We're almost done. So we're going to loft. I'm going to start from the back. You can do it either way. Here, 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 and loft here. And there's our boat. And then what we're going to do is, what we need to do is use guides. So we're going to click on guides, and then we're going to check our spline. So we'll click on guides, click on our spline, and what that's going to do is it's going to use that edge of the sketch. So it's going to follow that and use that as a railing. Now, I think it kind of automatically did that as we were lofting, but this was just kind of show you that if it doesn't, you can also force it to follow a guideline as we're going through. So you can see that our loft doesn't exactly directly follow this in a straight line, right? It kind of follows our spline, so it makes just a nicer curve around. And it did the same thing on the other side as well. It was very nice of it. Made it easy. All right, so there's our boat. The only problem is our boat isn't hollow, right? So you can't really sit in that. Okay, it's a nice looking boat, but okay, it's kind of flat, right? It's solid. So what we're going to do is go ahead and hide all of our sketches and planes and everything. Just kind of make everything look clean. So we'll hide all these planes and our sketches just so we don't see all these cross sections, just to make it look nice. There, there. There's our boat. Could hide these planes too. There's our nice boat. And the last thing we're going to do is shell it to make it hollow. So we're going to get our shell command just like we did with our trash can. Go ahead and shell right here. And we might have to change the thickness and the direction. Doesn't like that direction, but let's make this, choose 0.2, see if it does it. Let's see if we get 0.2. No, it doesn't like that. So probably means that there was an overlapping surface somewhere. So let's try 0.05. See what we get. Nope, still a little too small. 0.1, what do we get? Let's try, oops, actually 0.1 is bigger. Let's try 0.01. There we go. So 0.01 should work, and then we have this, it's pretty thin, but that's okay. You can kind of see the edge there. But we have our nice boat. The only thing left to do is give it some color. See, I'm going to make mine, let's make it kind of a nice silver or aluminum color. Yeah, kind of like that. And that's the boat. Thanks for following along.